Tonight, growing concern over the whereabouts of Roshanak Molai. The 25-year-old Iranian woman had posted this video to social media on November 1st. It's believed to show her walking in Tehran with her head uncovered when she's accosted by a man in a military uniform. She fights back in this heated exchange, drawing in several bystanders. She captioned the video, a scene from being a woman in Iran. Human rights advocates say the following day she was summoned by Iran's cyber police and eventually arrested. Her account was taken down and no one is known to have heard from her since.
She has kind of disappeared. We don't have any information about her whereabouts, her condition, whether she was rearrested, whether she's in jail right now. So there's not much information out there, which is very troubling.
In a statement, Iranian police acknowledged the confrontation, saying both the man and the woman had, quote, been referred to judicial authorities, and that Molai is being prosecuted for not observing mandatory hijab laws. According to the human rights organization Henga, Molai has in the past publicly opposed mandatory hijab laws on social media. She was also arrested in 2022 for taking part in widespread protests over the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini while in police custody. Amini was detained in part for not correctly wearing a hijab. The UN says she was killed as a result of beatings, but Iran maintains she died of pre-existing medical conditions. Henga says Molai was only released a year later. Women in Iran have continued to protest the country's strict dress code. Earlier this month, another young woman protested the laws by stripping down to her underwear in public at a university in Tehran. A university spokesperson saying she was sent to a psychiatric hospital. Her current condition is unknown. Even with a new moderate president and a slightly more permissive morality police, the regime is still cracking down. A UN report released earlier this year flagged what it called a deteriorating human rights situation for women and girls across Iran. And just this week, the Iranian government announcing treatment clinics where women who refuse to wear the hijab may be referred for therapy that encourages compliance.
We're seeing a lot of small acts of resistance every single day, and we're seeing a quiet revolution happen within the society. And when people want human rights and freedom, there is nothing that can really stop them. And you're seeing a young generation leading this movement.
So long as hijab laws are in place, many Iranian women say they'll continue to defy them at any cost.
And Danielle Hamanjan joins us now with more. Danielle, where do things go from here? Are we expecting to see protests inside of Iran?
Well, we haven't seen any protests in the streets so far. It's been mostly online. But if history is any indication, things can quickly spiral. You'll remember, of course, the case of Mahsa Amini. Women, girls all over the country in the streets, in schools were shouting women, life, liberty. And it was for some time considered to be one of the biggest challenges, or posing one of the biggest challenges to the rule of the supreme leader at the time.
Yeah, let's talk a little more about the role of the supreme leader here, because you mentioned in your piece Iran does have a fairly new president, one that is typically described as more moderate than his predecessor. But the supreme leader of Iran hasn't changed. It's been the same person in that position since 1989. So ultimately, when we're talking about morality laws and the enforcement of them, who actually decides how that plays out in the streets?
Well, enforcement often or sometimes has depended on the political context. After the protest, the Mahsa Amini protests, the morality police sort of eased off for a while. In terms of Masoud Pezeshkian, the fairly new president in Iran, they've tried to present him as a reformist. He has said in the past that he would stop the morality police from bothering women. But as many will point out, despite he can be very open to the West, his allegiance remains with the supreme leader, who fundamentally holds power and controls the country, and he calls the shots. That being said, as well, with everything going on in the region, tensions rising both with Israel and the United States, Iran is not going to want any dissent at home.
All right, Danielle Hamamdin reporting from the Middle East. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.